Well, hello there, sunflowers, and how are you guys today? Well, as I usually say, hopefully you're doing better than who I'm reading on today, who is Bad Baby. However, it seems like she is toughing it out here. She is toughing it out here as the true. You know what? I'm curious what her sign is. Imagine she's a Taurus. Let's see. I'm curious because she's just too strong. She has too much grit. Okay, Danielle. Okay, I'll just type it in. Danielle Bergoli. March 26. Oh my God, is she an Aries? Even better. Even better. She's an Aries. I knew she was somewhere up there in the very beginning of the zodiac sign. As an Aries, she is pretty much bold. You know what? She's true and committed to the red, but I digress. Danielle Bergoli was recently on Ari Fletcher's cooking show. And let's just say Danielle Bergoli or Bad Baby got very honest. And you know what? She's just honestly an open book. She has been through a lot. She will advocate for what she's been through, because I remember there was a period because she talked about Dr. Phil. I'm gonna run it down for you guys. But she talked about Dr. Phil, where she got the name and notoriety, Catch Me Outside, how about that? And from there, she was sent to the ranch, which was very mistreated. She was abused. Other people were abused too. And it was just not well kept. It was honestly a publicity stunt for Dr. Phil and anybody else that wanted to say that they're helping, as they called them, alternative kids get reformed and turn a new leaf and be a participating citizen in society, basically. However, that is not all about, there we go, Turnabout Ranch is what it was called. And from there, she has even been an advocate and advocating for those that were in that ranch. Even Paris Hilton has reached out about being in reforms in places that are just not well maintained, and children, such innocent children, are getting abused, gaslit, just all that. Like, if you don't know, please do look into it. It is a very interesting. If you do not know about Turnabout Ranch and the dark history of Dr. Phil, please do check that out. I was an advocate follower of Bad Baby during that time, so I also remember her bodyguard Frank. I knew they were close, but like I didn't know they had a secret relationship like that. Mm-hmm. At the time, it was questionable. People did question Frank at the time because he seemed a little bit too friendly. And he's even said it himself. He was just like, if I seem too friendly with Bad Baby, it's because I see her as my daughter and I'm just going to love her as if she's my own. That almost kind of sounds like incest, but I'm going to leave that one alone. So further moving on, Frank, but let's really take it all back before Bad Baby was Bad Baby on the Dr. Phil show. Let's rewind and go back to when Bad Baby was 3 and 6 years old. Between those age ranges, and her mom's boyfriend was inappropriately touching her during that time. And she's tried telling her mom about this, and her mom did nothing about it, didn't break up with him, didn't send him to the police. She said that she's tried to go to the police, and she devastatedly says, nobody does anything when it comes to me. So it's just, she's tried to be an advocate, and like the true Aries that she is, that's where the grit is. She stands and defends for herself. So yes, that little girl that we saw on Dr. Phil is a product of her environment. Like she said, she's been smoking Newports since she was 11, and now she's switched to vaping. So we see her evolving, we see her evolution, and she's talked about being mishandled, and basically, I'm going to say it, be a sex object for the industry. But however, she has found herself with Levon, or LV, who is her baby daddy, and she claims that she wants 3 more children by this man. So she wants 4 kids. She wants 4 kids by Levon. And yet she claims that they're not in a relationship and she doesn't love him. And even though that they live in the same building or like same house, they're sharing a house together because they're co-parenting. So of course they're going to live together. She says she's not going to abandon him. That's my baby daddy, she said. So we know where she stands. And clearly she has talked about Alabama and how her beef with Alabama is Alabama said, "Oh, I accidentally got your boyfriend's number. I didn't know." And so she unfollowed both of them on social media. And then Levon had to happen to have a ticket. Is this because she's in a gated community? Because Bad Baby said the only person that you would need a ticket to go to her house is Alabama. And he made up some excuse saying, "Oh, I was visiting some other friend in her neighborhood." So we see the shadiness that was going on here, and Bad Baby truly saw Alabama as a friend. And she was like, "You couldn't have just talked to me." And whenever I read on Alabama, it's just she feels as though it wasn't that serious. She didn't know it was that deep. You say you didn't want this man, yet you're having this whole beef and ended our friendship over it. And then I come to find out that Bad Baby has 4 tattoos of Levon on her, and one of them is in her downstairs regions. So yes, it was that serious for her, no matter how much she doesn't want to claim that. If you want 4 babies by this man, I can't help you on that one. She clearly doesn't want to admit that she has love for him, no matter how abusive she has been to him. However, we have to acknowledge where she has came up and where she grew up. And this is probably something that she's used to seeing and experiencing. So she's just living out what she knows love to be, even though she knows that it should be something different. But I digress. And now I'm here to read some cards on Bad Baby. I think I ran down everything important to talk about that she mentioned on Ari Fletcher's show. They made what, spaghetti, some pasta. It looked really good, honestly. But I'm just honestly here to read on Bad Baby because I just want to check in on her mental. She says that she is still going through postpartum on top of that. And you know how postpartum, it hits. Okay, the Sun card came out and plopped out in honestly the perfect place. So Bad Baby is just living her life out loud, literally. The sun represents exposing, represents shining a light, but it can also represent a beacon of light and being a guiding, because the sun, just as an Aries should, and all bursting with fire and flames. She's very passionate and she's going to share her passion. She doesn't want to be a closed book. She's going to be an open book. Anything you want to know, she's going to talk about it and be apparently truthfully honest about it, and not even care, because I think she's just honestly at this point of her life just trying to look for honesty and stability and security, because she's trying to forge her own path of what love and what adulthood should look like and what motherhood she looks like. It could really stem from the fact that she wants 4 children just so she can really be the mom that her mom couldn't be to her. So she wants to live vicariously through these babies. And her first child just happens to be a daughter. And so she has this on her to lead the right way, be the right guy, show my daughter what it's, how to have a man treat you. And yeah, so another card, let's just pull below. Wow, this is really good. Her foundation is the 4 of Wands. Okay, we have the 8 of Pentacles, definitely working on her craft. And this is honestly looking, this is unfolding pretty much on point. Above her head is the 5 of Wands, which always represents scattered energy, being all over the place. And just like the sun is, it's all consuming. It is all over the place. It radiates energy in all directions. So therefore, Bad Baby is just, I don't want to say spewing, but she is putting her energy out there, maybe a little bit more than she needs to. However, she is just for real living her life out loud. And I like that. I like that. Some change, the hermit, going within, taking some time back and retreating. Maybe this is why she is going on, I'll say, a tour of explaining her life, talking about her beef, talking about her relationship, talking about her music. She's This is also the year that she has came back to music. Uh, She had did a remix. Wait, hold on, let me calm down. I forgot to completely mention the fact that she redid Sexy Red song Pow 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 Pow, which is F my baby daddy. And she made a whole diss track about how she said F my baby daddy. And yet, that was just 2 weeks ago. And yet, just 5 days ago, we saw her talking about how she got her baby daddy's face tattooed on her hoo-ha. So I don't know, F my baby daddy or I want 4 kids by this man. Which one is it gonna be? It's like she's hot and she's cold. I don't And I think that's where Bama got a little bit lost in it, because it's is her head's just not on straight with Bat Baby. I think she's a little bit confused and a little bit caught up in the love energy that she has with Levon. But like I said, we have to really look back and see the history that she's coming from and realizing that she's just reliving her childhood in that sense. And she has to be able to break those patterns and recognize those patterns, which is what I'm seeing kind of in this energy right here. Because in the past, which I'm going to say, which is within the last year or two, is the Eight of Pentacles. And the Eight of Pentacles is all about working on your craft. This, like I said, this within the last 4 months, she has been putting out music. She has been pretty silent for about a good year or two, but now she's like coming out with music back to back to back, touring, doing shows. She is finally getting back to music. She was doing some acting, yes, but she's like, this is what I truly love. I've always wanted to be a rapper. She has been a rapper since 14, so that she is living the life that she wanted to live. So because of that, she is making sure she doesn't get lost or lose track or lose sight of where her dream is, where she wanted and what she wanted to do with her life. Even though, so it's like trying to get the boyfriend, trying to get the family, and trying to get the career. It's a juggling act. That's why she's scattered and all over the place. And plus, like she said, postpartum, that's going to ramp that up even more in her. The hormones, I don't want to say got her acting a little kooky, but when she already had a lot on her plate, she's going to have to find a way to channel that energy and make it a little bit more useful, which she truly is. She's doing some shadow work. She is talking about her past, her history, what she's been exposed to, and how this has made her the person that she is today, that is a true Aries. And Aries is somebody that is going to, you're going to hear them, you're going to see them, and you're not going to miss them. You can't miss an Aries. At least with a Leo, they are there to stay, but with like an Aries, it's like they come in like a whirlwind and put an imprint on you and then like dip out like your energy field. It's just the sporadic nature of an Aries. And that's exactly what I'm seeing with her at this very moment. She's being true to an Aries energy. Truthfully, she really is. However, she's going to have to find a way to tame it back and bring it down and really ground herself. Like, what does she truly want to get out of uh, reliving her past traumas? Like, I get it. Like Cat Williams said last year, and really the astrology says it, since Pluto and all these outer planets moving into new signs, and this is like a pretty rare event that we're going through right now. So like we're like the turn of the century, from 1999 to 2000. That's basically what we're going through energetically wise and astrologically and cosmologically. So therefore, everybody's getting exposed, from celebrities to your everyday common people down to the hot mess at Coachella. So everything's a bit bumpy, everything's a bit turbulent. And in order to adjust to this energy, we're going to have to either work with the energy or we're going to have to fight against the energy. And it seems like Bhad Bhabie is definitely working with the energy. She's being open. She's being expressive. She's allowing herself to feel. She's allowing herself to be open regardless of the judgment. Remember, she has had a cancer diagnosis. So she's been reintroduced to a new life, and she's lost a lot of weight. So because of that, she's like, she has a new chance and a new gain at life. So she's really focusing on herself. And in order to do that, in order to maybe not be misjudged or misunderstood by people, she's like, let me tell you my story, and I'm going to be so honest with it before I go back into my hermit stage and go back into reflecting and doing more inner work. Let me just share with you guys parts of myself that maybe you're not familiar with. And now that she is having this resurgence of fame because of Alabama Barker, let's be honest, a little bit. So because of that, now she is reopening childhood wounds, being honest, especially because she is of age now. She could talk about these things. It's not like she hasn't tried to talk about these things before in the past. Nobody didn't want to listen to her because she was the problem child, and she's just brought this onto herself. That's what people were pretty much feeling about her. So yeah, why would anybody want to listen to what Bhad Bhabie put herself through in her past? But now that we're seeing a new light and a new side of herself, we're seeing that, yeah, she put herself through that, but also it's because that's all she was around, and that's all she did know. So that's all she could interact with. So really, instead of judging less of herself, we should really still be looking and judging her mom. But I'm not here to judge, point fingers at anybody, because honestly, Bhad Bhabie just wants she just wants a new life. And in order to do that, she has to take control of her actions and in her environment. And that's exactly what she's doing by changing the narrative out there on herself and not really caring what people, you take it as it resonates. You either vibe with Bhad Bhabie or you don't vibe with Bhad Bhabie. But she told her truth, and she's living her honest, authentic self. No matter how messy that may look. One minute she doesn't want Levon, and next minute she wants to straddle him down with babies. That's just where she is at the moment. Let her work out through those hormones. She's coming to us as messy as she is. So with that, all we could truly do is just to see her go into this hermit and see what her next stage is going to be when she emerges out of her cage again, to talk more about herself and more about how she has changed. And honestly, we're going to see her mature. Like, listen, this was 11-year-old Bhad Bhabie. She is like in her mid-20s now. So she is taking a new leaf, and she's getting ready to approach a Saturn return. So all that is working within her. So I think I've said everything I could about Bhad Bhabie. I just one more card, just an oracle card. I just want to know one card to see how her outcome is going to be. Like, now that she has talked about her life, how does she feel now that she has released that negative energy and has put it out into the world, and finally somebody out there is going to listen to her? Okay. Perfect. The card that came out was End of the Line, and that means there's nowhere else to go, and you have to face things face to face now. She grew up in the media, so she came back to the media to correct her image and really finally speak her truth. Maybe she couldn't speak it back then because she was immature and couldn't realize the situation, and the best way she could do it was with violence, was being sassy, was by saying, let me fight you, let me catch you outside, let me do all this to show you guys that I am not okay. She had this defensive hard shell, like the Hermit. I honestly would have thought she was a Cancer because she's so sensitive inside. But she, like Dr. Phil, say it how you will of Dr. Phil, but he called a spade. She has this hard exterior shell because she's just a scared little innocent little girl inside, and that's exactly what she was going through. She was being sexually abused at home. Nobody was there to protect her, so she had to be her own protector. So if that means I gotta fight you, I gotta steal your keys, I'm gonna steal your money, I'm gonna sell pills, whatever it is, nobody's looking out for me, so I gotta look out for me. So now that she's grown up and has gotten out of that fight or flight mentality, she's able to look back at her past and able to reflect on it, and is able to talk to us from an adult point of view what she was going through as a child, that she couldn't put to words, that she couldn't explain. And even if she tried to, nobody would listen to her. So she's going to try again. And now maybe people are going to be a little bit more receptive. So because of that, it's the end of the line. It's time to come full circle. It's time to finally expose who Bhad Bhabie is and why Bhad Bhabie is the way she is. Like, we finally got to understand her. And with that being said, I feel like this was a very good reading. And with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this reading on Bhad Bhabie. I sure did. And I can't wait to see what else she releases in the music. It is sad to see that she did truly lose a friend, Alabama Barker, in the process. But if Alabama's going to secretly unfollow you and not come to you like a woman like you expected her to be, then she's not the right person to have in your circle anyway. So with that being said, she learned who's her true friends and who are her real friends and who are going to stand by her and who's going to be her ride or die. And Alabama was not that. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I sure did. Bhad Bhabie is finding herself. Please leave your comments down below. How do you feel about her? Have you guys gotten a different perspective on her? Or have you just found out who she is and learning all of this and you're just as overwhelmed as she was when she was going through it? So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I sure did. Please subscribe if you have not subscribed already. It will really mean a lot to me and Lady Crone. And please give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already. And yeah, with that, I will see you sunflowers in the next one. Sunflowers!